person that actually enjoyed challenging himself. And if you just make the switch, you understand how every challenge is shaping you to become a better version of yourself. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Evolve the Podcast. Guys, before starting, I would like to say that it's good to be back in the studio. It's good to be back in front of you guys. And today, actually, we're going to speak about a topic that I found really passionate about, and that's embracing the risks and actually what it costs you to be successful. This topic, I have been educating myself within in it for quite a lot of time, 2 years to be exact, and it has been an emotional roller coaster because definitely success isn't easy and it's definitely nothing that it's being given. For starting, right next to me you can see the logo of the sponsor, which is Conquer Fitness. For those of you who don't know, Conquer Fitness is my online fitness coaching company that strives to empower people both mentally and physically to become a better version of themselves. Currently, we have more than 150 successful transformations, and we're building a brand new website. I'm having also a brand new strategy. Everything is being rebranded, and I'm building the business once again from scratch. And actually, on August 1st, I'm officially registering Conquer Fitness as a company. Until up until this moment, Conquer Fitness was part of my freelancing identity. However, I need to mention this once again. August 1st is the official launch of Conquer Fitness, so make sure to check out the social media down low in the links. So, what does it take to be successful? First of all, I need to mention that success is something that is being very subjective. Success can be categorized as conquering one of your goals for the from the New Year's resolutions, or success can be earning your first $1 million, let's say. And for me personally, success isn't demonstrated as a physical manner. It's not about how much money I gain. It's all about personally success for me is being able to acquire whatever I want. So yes, of course, physical things, but also the moral accomplishments, if I can say it like this, the mental accomplishments. Because definitely, guys, you need to believe me, it's not an easy thing to build a brand from the ground, especially whenever you are a solo entrepreneur. Which reminds me that there are also quite a lot of different types of entrepreneurs. Wannabe entrepreneurs are also very popular these days because being an entrepreneur has becoming a thing for the last 2 years, and everybody starts having their own companies and stuff like this, which is great. Don't mind me, but yeah, a lot of people are saying, I want to do this, I want to do that, but yet they're not embracing the risks. They're not diving deeper into the unknown, and they're not immersing into the whole startup culture or stuff like this. And also, there is a theory that there are quite a lot of startups currently, and it's going to be like a bubble thing, especially with the upcoming depression. And only the strongest startups will survive. And that's a tough thing to say, but indeed, that's the reality of it. What it takes to be successful, it takes quite a lot of courage. It takes quite a lot of consistency, willpower, and most importantly, you are constantly fighting your own demons. You are definitely the person who is going to self doubt himself or herself, and that's completely okay. There were multiple times where when I self-doubt myself, and it happens constantly. But in order to be like a tunnel vision, in order to have a tunnel vision, you need to constantly remind yourself, why did you start this thing. For instance, it took me maybe 4 years in order to register myself as a in order to register Conquer Fitness as a company itself. And why was that? Well, actually, something good to know is that every business has different pace. of creation, because for me personally, in order to be a good fitness coach, it doesn't really matter online or offline. You need some time to gain expertise, which I definitely have right now, especially after being a manager, especially after having people that have different allergies and people that have different chronic pain and lack of sleep and stuff like this. And whenever you dealt with all of these stuff for the first time, you manage to get a little bit of expertise and you build up your knowledge. Also, times, I think personally for my industry, the more time you spend within the sector, the better you get. And indeed, that is something that some of the people don't see as a perspective whenever they, if I can say it like this, whenever they register themselves within the market itself. And there are quite a lot of coaches who are not registered as well. I personally know some coaches that charge their clients up until certain workout session, and they're getting paid under the table in order to overcome some taxes and stuff like this, which is of course very known thing, very general thing. I don't blame anybody for it because we all need a bag, but I would say that this is not the appropriate way of doing it. And furthermore, you can scale your business if you, or that much at least, by the time the, yeah, the low comes after you, then you're fucked up. So once again, what it takes to be successful. I covered up the fight your own thoughts part. It's a never-ending cycle, and you have to be ready to constantly fight with your own thoughts. Willpower. Regarding willpower, I need to mention, because willpower is kind of connected with consistency. There will be days where you really don't feel like doing certain things, and it might be after your 9 to 5 job, and then you know that there are some people that actually rely on you. For my case, whenever I was working as a designer, what I did was that I either wake up a bit early so I can continue with my work as an online fitness coach, or I will stay late in order to compensate the hours that I have missed because of my 9 to 5. And that takes quite a lot of willpower. You need to push yourself constantly if you want to be successful person. And yet, indeed, I want to refer to the book of David Goggins, Can Hurt Me. The guy literally trash talk himself in order to stay motivated, and being real about yourself is also another thing that I need to mention, because if you stay real with yourself and you say that you didn't accomplish shit, which is the truth, then you might as well motivate yourself to get back to the chair and work once again. Willpower helped me quite a lot during the pandemic as well. Whenever I felt demotivated, I just drank a cup of coffee, sat down, and I understood the importance of me pushing, because, once again, as I mentioned in my book, The Mindset of the Conqueror, which will come out soon, by the way, on August 1st. Now, consistency goes once again with willpower. Something that I need to mention is that consistency and also progress, because I do believe that they are connected within each other, does does not mean that you have to give to the fullest. Like, it does not mean that you have to grind constantly up to 100%. Yes, you can try, but there are days and days, and I do believe that we need to be realistic as well. Sometimes you manage to just perform 20% of your tasks for the day, and another day you can perform 200% of the day. The thing and the mindset that you need to keep up within this type of environment and situation is to just know that you're one step further than the previous day. I do believe that if you do that, and that's also a thing that Ayman Ganzi, I think was his name, or if I'm misspelling it, I'm not really sure. I will check it out later. I will leave a link down below to his YouTube channel. He's an entrepreneur that has a marketing agency for 1 million or maybe even $1 billion. His philosophy is focusing all about being one step ahead of the day that you have previously conquered, if I can say it like this. So this was about what it takes to be successful, the basic three pillars, there are a lot more things that I'm going to mention, and I actually believe that they can be categorized into additional factors of what it takes to be successful. The second thing that I would like to mention is the never ending loop of education. And now I would like to give a pure example of my hustles. You guys know YouTube does require some skills as well. Besides from marketing, it requires some copywriting skills, some public speaking skills. It also requires some editing skills, which is something incredibly important. And I do believe that in order to become successful, you need to constantly educate yourself within multiple areas or single area in order to become master of it, and then you can extend your knowledge. I'm the type of person who believes that you don't need to really focus upon one thing, because then you limit yourself out of certain opportunities, if I can say it like this. I try to be a T-shaped marketeer, which means that I have a foundation of marketing, and up until then I just build it up. Imagine the letter T. So my main foundation is marketing, and then on the top I try to have a foundation of coding, graphical design, editing, sales, entrepreneurship, and many, many more stuff, in order to be more helpful, first to myself, and second of all, just imagine how valuable person you are going to be. If you are going to get hired within a certain company, then you can help to the majority of the departments itself. And once again, I do believe that education is something incredibly important. I do educate myself for the fitness industry. So, for the fitness industry, I do educate myself into the mobility aspect of it, nutrition, and yeah, exercises itself. Also, how to recover properly, supplements, and life hacks, mindset, how to help your people around you, and stuff like this. I educate myself into the field of the mindset as well by reading books, listening to podcasts, and reading some news articles and some case studies. I educate myself into the field of entrepreneurship, marketing, and video editing. Which video, if I have to be honest, video editing has been the least of my focuses, because yeah, I have to focus on other things, and I do believe that currently the YouTube algorithm prefers consistency rather than quality. But if it change, I might as well stop uploading. So consistent and try to focus on quality itself. But once again, this is all about prioritizing. Next thing that I would like to speak about is, don't ask your friends or family for validation of your idea in case that they're not your target group. So that is very niche type of thing actually, but there was a saying in the books for entrepreneurship that normally, if you ask your friends and family for your idea or to validate your idea, they would be really biased, because of course everybody wants you to be successful and they will do everything in order for you to be successful. But the vast majority of the times, the family and the friends bias you, because they really respect you as a person, and they would say that, for instance, your service is amazing while your service fucking suck. So I would like to say that if you want to experiment and validate your idea, try to find your perfect persona, or the perfect line of yours, by doing a persona, and then narrow it down to, okay, where I can find these people and how can I reach them in order to, get tested, in order to get my service tested. Overthinking has been a big thing for me as well. I personally am an overthinker, and I find it very actually difficult to not overthink sometimes. However, I managed to understand the importance of journaling, and also managing and narrowing down the positive side and the negative side of the things. Here, I would like to introduce one model, which is actually part of my fitness coaching as well. And I learned it through my certification as a fitness coach. The model is called the self control model. And if we have two rings, imagine we have one circle and then another circle and then another circle, so three rings. In the smallest ring, you write down the things that actually you can control. Then on the second, a bit bigger ring, you write down in your notebook or in your computer the things that you can influence but not directly change. And last but not least, you write down the things that are not in your capability of changing. And now, if I have to give an example, thing that I can change is my sleeping routine. So let's say that a problem of mine is sleeping. Okay. Something that I can influence is the hours of sleeping that I can do. Something that is that I can influence but not directly change is my circadian rhythm. If I'm a night owl, I'll try to influence it by taking medications such as magnesium, because magnesium improves sleep, or melatonin. And something that I can influence is the 24 hours of the day that we have, and also the nighttime. So, besides having this unique model of self control, I would recommend you guys to also start writing down or journaling the things that you have in your mind, and in that case, you can just relax your mind within it. I would also recommend, besides the journaling and the self control, to meditate, because meditation actually calms anxiety. Try to exercise a bit more, because this is another tool how to fight overthinking, and I think that's more than enough for right now. By the way, guys, I need to mention that hydration is very important for everybody, and that's the reason why I actually need to hydrate myself. So, wait a bit. Make sure to drink, once again, minimum 3 liters, maximum 10 liters per day of water in order to stay hydrated and in order to improve performance and overall function of your organism. I don't know how many times I have actually said this, but I really want to be the first millionaire within my family. There is always a person who does the breakout. So, what does it mean? You just stand out and you escalate from the current state that you're currently at. And I truly believe that I'm able to conquer my dreams and to become the first millionaire of my family. And yet, in order to become the first entrepreneur of my family, I need to set clear goals, which I'm going to speak about it in a bit. However, let's get back into the podcast. And next thing that I would like to speak about, guys, is being lonely. And is that actually bad? How you can deal with it and stuff like this. For me, it happened quite naturally, or maybe because of the influence of you know, of the Rona. It actually pushed me to be a better person. I reduced quite a lot of my friends, as I mentioned before. I didn't manage to see my girlfriend for quite a lot of time, and what I gained was the so-called lonely wolf mentality. This is a term that I personally use in order to describe one of the most impactful situations or part of my life. There I understood the importance of self-education and prioritizing yourself as a adult, even if you want to call it like this. I realized that I don't need to explain to anybody what I'm doing, why I'm doing this, and stuff like this. And I'm actually willing to chase my dreams, and I'm going to take the consequences out of this. And one consequence of being successful is actually staying lonely. The ability to be self efficient is also something really important to understand here. And I would say that being lonely doesn't mean that it's something bad. No, it actually release quite a lot of tension in your head, and it allows you to see how much time you actually have within this 24/7, oh sorry, within this 24 hours of the day. And as a result of that, you can really quickly assign tasks in order to become a better version of yourself. Whenever I stopped hanging out with people that much, and whenever I understood the importance of prioritizing myself, I saw that I can work out within one day, I can do a lot of things, and I can embrace the person that I am. it was a really hard state because there then I didn't really manage to go out due to the night curfew, due to the curfew and stuff like this. But definitely make sure, if you want to be successful, that you need to reject some of your friends from time to time, and you need to sit on your chair, sit on your ass, and just work. Because if you don't work, then nobody else will do it for you. And being lonely also connects not only to rejecting people and the power of saying no, but also from cutting friends and family members from your surroundings. And I know that's something very hard for some people, but you thank me later if you do this right now. Because right now, especially if you're in your early 20s, late 30s, if you want as well, it doesn't matter. I think that's a step that everybody needs to do, need to take in order to become successful. Because then once again, your surroundings shape you as a person. And there was a claim that the five people that you hang out the most with, they shape you out as a person. And I personally feel like I still struggle with my environment, because finding an environment of grinders or entrepreneurs or hustlers is something very unique, if I can say, if you don't know the right people. And that's the reason why I push myself within the LinkedIn community more and more and more, in order to find people with the same mindset, people with the same grinding mentality and stuff like this. Staying positive is a huge character of mine. Staying positive prevent me from depression. Staying positive prevent me from dropping out of school. Staying positive prevent me from suiciding myself. Staying positive is something that I personally feel like it's super easy, but it's actually inherited within my childhood as well, thanks to my parents. I have seen people around me that are so negative, and I have seen people that are stuck to their problems 24/7, and they can't just go over their problems. The thing is, a trick that I use here, I just changed my mentality from somebody who suffers constantly to a person that actually enjoy challenging himself. And if you just make the switch, you understand how every challenge is shaping you to become a better version of yourself. Indeed, I crave for challenges, because I do know that, yeah, I will maybe have mental breakdown, but I know that I will learn something out of this. And if I have to be honest, this September will be incredibly busy. First of all, I need to deal with Conquer Fitness. Second of all, with Uni. Third of all, I have job as a marketer in a startup, which is in the fitness industry as well. So consumer goods, stuff like this. It will be super interesting to see. And also, they gave me quite a lot of responsibilities. And as far as I know, I need to lead an entire team of marketers, which is something new to me. It's scary because the entire business will be laid upon my decisions. And it's challenging, it's scary to think that you can just by making one decision you can fuck up entire business for millions. And you need to be able to stay positive. If you don't stay positive, I think the world will stop. Just try to see the negative within the negativity, the bright side. I know that this is so lame to say, but for real, if you don't take a look at the things from the positive side, you're just suffering from your own thoughts, if I can say it like this. I just forgot the word and the term of it. So yeah, just try to see everything that is happening around you and try to analyze it. Try to see the positive side, which is within the bad things in your life. For instance, I was about to drop out of uni. What I saw is that if I drop out, I'm going to spend a lot of time for my business and for this YouTube channel, and that will make me a better person. Another example was what would happen if I suicide myself, and that happened because I faced a great depression during my first year in uni because of the lack of vitamin D. Which reminds me, guys, if you're in a country that generally doesn't have a lot of sunlight, or if you're not going out as much, just try to supplement vitamin D in order to have a normal brain function, which is very important. And I saw the benefit of staying alive. The life is right in front of me, and there isn't anything else that can happen. If I even if I fail, I will at least tried something. And that's the reason why actually quite a lot of wannabepreneurs don't do anything, because they're afraid of failing. But the reality is, guys, that even if you fail, you're going to succeed, because you're one step further than the day before. And through learned the freshly learned things, which you're going to most likely implement and not repeat, because if you repeat those things, you're a dummy. You're going to succeed, and that's something that you need to have in mind. Now, this is a bit contradictory, because being rational and being positive, it's kind of contradictory. Yeah, it just battle itself, because one side, positivity will push you to chasing new goals, setting new goals. Let's say you want to have 1 million within 1 month. Well, that's unrealistic, at least for me right now, because yes, I kind of earn right now a bit of money, around 1K, if I have to be honest. But the thing is, it's not enough, and I can't just say yes, I want to earn 1 million within the next week. I can try, but I'm realistic about it, and I'm taking the rational decisions to not force myself that much, because that will lead to other consequences. Now, staying rational, I connected with making practical choices. A clear example is staying on budget for furnishing of the studio itself. As you can see, everything here is very budgety, if I can say it like this. I have the stand that the camera is currently standing on is 14 euro shelves from something like IKEA, but a bit cheaper version. So I would say making rational choices will help you to firstly save money. Second of all, it reduces the hustle. Third of all, it practical enough to do certain things. And let's say that I need to move to a brand new apartment, but I don't like these shelves anymore. I can just sell them or throw them away. But the thing is, I won't be feeling guilty for throwing them away, since they have been only 14 euro each, rather than buying an entire table that may cost me 200 euros. You know what I mean? Rational choice can be also the number of clients that you have. And for instance, what's my strategy for Conquer Fitness is to maintain a low number of clients up until I fully graduate. I have 2 years until my graduation as an online marketer or as a marketing specialist, and that will allow me to have income while I also stay within my educational system. And in that case, I won't push myself further, but make sure for myself as well, at least I do calculate how much money it will cost me and how much money I will earn in order to be financially stable, if I can call it like this. So definitely being rational and making practical choices will help me out to conquer my dreams. Next thing is to set realistic goals. I'll say start small by making up, let's say for the my New Year's resolutions, I said that I want to create certain things, which were big, of course, and I'm extremely grateful that I conquered them. And that's nothing to brag about, because in order to achieve these big goals, I lined up all smaller goals. And these smaller goals, I have been executing them within every week. So let's say that I want to read 12 books until the end of the year. Currently, I have read around 10 books, and every day, every week, I'm building and I'm conquering the smaller goal, the smaller goal, the smaller goal. And in that case, it just builds up the goals, and I managed to conquer the bigger goal. Now, regarding the goals, I need to say that they need to be smart goals. And this is a marketing term, smart goals, because it needs to be. Oh my god, I forgot it. Never mind. Okay, so you need to be able to be specific, to set a specific goal. A specific goal can be I want to read one book until the end of the month. Okay. And then you set another goal, how many pages you're going to read per day in order to reach that goal, which means that is a specific goal. Next, it needs to be time measuring. So you set a time for which you want to accomplish this goal. Third thing is to be measurable. So measurable means that you can, yeah, measure it. And in the case of the pages, as I said, I want to read 10 pages per day in order to read one book for till the end of the month. 10 pages multiplied by 30 days is 300 pages. So boom, one book a month, it's conquered. So I think that's more than enough to for the goals itself. I think it's very self-explanatory, and I think by just writing down in your journal your goals, you'll succeed in everything that you want to do. But make sure to take baby steps. Don't jump forward by taking a big goal, and just try to be realistic and yet positive about it. Because if say, oh no, I'm not going to reach it and stuff like this, just try to be positive and see, okay, I didn't manage, for instance, I wanted to have 1 million subscribers until the end of the year, but of course I won't reach it. So I'm staying real, but at least on the other side, I have, let's say, 500 subscribers, which is staying positive, and it's way better than I was last year whenever I had like only 5 subscribers. You get me what I mean. Last two things, guys, that we're going to speak about actually, because the podcast is currently 35 minutes. Which basically is not a mark for me, but I would like to have a maximum value within these episodes for this amount of time so you can enjoy it more and it will be easier for you to listen to. Next thing that I would like to speak about is the monk mode. Now, monk mode, lonely love mentality, no nut November, these are all methodologies for the male part of the population in order to stay focused and to not actually lose focus upon their goals. Now, as I mentioned before, monk mode is basically truly focusing on the things that you want to achieve while reducing any distractions. Also, it helps monk mode. It's claimed to be for semen retention. And basically, what is this? Whenever we don't masturbate quite a lot of time, for quite a lot of time, we manage to have increased focus and increased testosterone, which is good, of course. But I think monk mode and all of these type of mentalities are quite extreme, and they're not really realistic, if I can say it like this. Yes, it's good to be focused, but working 8 hours a day is definitely not the right thing that you need to do, because first of all, your posture gets bad, you get drained, you get burned and stuff like this. All I want to say here is that you need to stay focused and really set goals and really plan your day carefully. You can say that you can work for 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours lunch around lunchtime, and 2 hours in the evening, and boom, you have 6 hours of work. And why within these 6 hours of work, just try to reduce your time on the phone, try to reduce any kind of distractions, and definitely just try to find your environment for work. For me personally, I have made my room in such a way that I distinguish clearly my chill zone with the PlayStation and with this couch, um, with my working area, which is behind the studio. By the way, it's over there, and it's having my notebooks and having it is having my water and also my laptop with the microphone normally and stuff like this. So definitely, I would say make sure to have a clear environment which will support your grind. Also, make sure to have time for yourself, make time for yourself, and try to really prioritize the activities within your day in order to become successful. I don't think it's so hard to become successful. You just need to follow these simple steps of really improving your environment, trying to stay focused as much as possible, and trying to take out all the distractions. Try to stay hydrated. Try to sleep good. Have physical movement, and also just stay out of your comfort zone. I do forgot to mention this, but I'll maybe speak about it in the last part of the video. And last but not least, Make sure to make sure to prioritize, and that's it. Something incredibly important, not only for the younger generation of the male side of the population, but also for the female side, is just to embrace the mindset of long lasting pleasure rather than short pleasure or short or current short lasting pleasure. Yeah, that's correct. Sacrifices are definitely something that you need to be willing to make in order to become successful. And there are a lot of people who are saying that they're willing to make sacrifices, but by the time they need to make the sacrifices, they start self-doubting themselves and they're quitting easily. If you want to be entrepreneur, if you want to be successful person, by the time you go to this line of the need for having a sacrifice, just do the goddamn sacrifice in order to be successful. That's the thing. That's the only thing that actually distinguishes successful people with unsuccessful people, if I can say it like this. And I need to mention I'm not the most successful person that you may know, but I'm going there. I have the right mindset. I have the right goal in my mind, and I'm extremely passionate about it. So I truly believe that I'll be able to become successful one day. I put so much time and so much energy in it that there isn't a way that I'm not going to be successful. See, guys, that's the mindset that you need to have in order to become successful. Just have a killer mindset, do the things that you want to do, go out of your comfort zone by educating yourself or doing the things that are not so comfortable, because then you really grow up as a person and as a professional. And clear example of this is I fucking hate math and I hate data, but in order to become a better marketeer, I embraced data and SEO and all of these type of nerdy stuff in order to become a better version of myself. And indeed, right now I fucking love it, and I know what I'm doing, so that's even better. Definitely, a sacrifice that I have been making in the past is reducing the time with my girlfriend, reducing the time with friends and family, reducing the time from pleasures such as playing games. I'm personally a big gamer, but believe me, I will do everything that I can in order to become successful, and I'm willing to take the sacrifices. Sometimes you feel lonely, sometimes you will not feel supported by your friends and family, and sometimes, not sometimes, but quite a lot of times, a lot of entrepreneurs are being faced against the decision of maintaining their relationship with their partner or sustaining their business. I'm personally the type of person that prioritize himself first. So if I need to choose between my partner, which I love her with all my heart, but if that's the case, if that's the need of me, is that a sacrifice that I need to make in order to succeed, I'll do it. Why? Because guys, if I have to be honest, partners are temporarily, success is forever. And I know that this might be very toxic, and I really don't care what you think about this, but for me, that makes the perfect sense, because believe me, I have changed different girlfriends within the past, and all of them claim that they will be next to me forever. But fuck this, the grind is with you forever. Even playing sports such as basketball is going to be with you forever. So make sure to prioritize yourself, make the sacrifices. Once again, sleep properly, create proper environment for yourself. Let's see, stop overthinking, don't ask your friends and family, be consistent, have willpower, never stop educating yourself. And I think that's very shortly what it takes in order to become a successful person. Okay, guys, I think that has been a very intense episode. I do believe that's a topic that can be recorded for a 5 hour episode, if you know what I mean. It's a very long topic. I'm very passionate about this topic. So if you're the type of person who also passionate about these type of topics, make sure to connect with me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. And I would like to speak to you personally about these topics. If you like this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe for the channels. And also, please share this amazing podcast in order to reach out to more people and in order to evolve together. The challenge for this episode is actually to write down on a journal the goals that you need to accomplish in the till the end of the year. Try to write down your big goals at the end of a page or of your notebook or maybe on the wall. Just put sticky notes and see what type of goals you have in mind and what do you want to achieve. Then set a clear goals, sub goals, and start taking the baby steps within the 5 minute methodology, which means every day you do something at least for 5 minutes. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you are enjoying this podcast as much as I am. And I hope to see you next time. See ya.
Subscribe now.